All right, good afternoon. Oh, no, I messed it up. Okay, I guess we won't host a podcast episode today, Andy. You know, I think we should just go home. Haha, April.
No!
April
we're not
Fools.
doing that!
April
Okay?
Fools.
No! We're restarting. Go!
Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is by you. Welcome back to the Underqualified Knuckleheads podcast. Oh boy, it's been an interesting morning already. With all honesty, we were going to do this fun little April Fool's thing, but Andy was not a fan. Speaking of, I am your co-host, Daniel Keene. Alongside me again is Mr. Andy Newman. Andy, how you doing?
Well, okay, so I'm just going to lay out what just happened. Daniel thought it'd be a great idea to have a fake thing where it seems like we aren't going to do a podcast, which would be a great idea for someone listening to a podcast, and then, well, I don't know, you're just not looking at the time and be like, oh, I guess they're not having a podcast this week, and they just decided to say that they weren't having a podcast. Just turn it off immediately.
I think it worked out.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it would have been totally
That doesn't
fun.
make any sense.
Either way, happy April Fools. If we're catching you on April Fools, I feel like that doesn't happen as much as it used to. I feel like in elementary school and middle school, we used to do a lot more on April Fool's Day, and now it's the first of the month.
It's a joke day. I don't really know what it is.
I don't know. Do you count it as a real day?
It's a holiday of some kind, I would say.
No, I meant like a real day. Like if it's April Fool's Day and it's like all a joke, did you actually do anything?
Yeah. What are we doing right now? Is this a joke to you?
I don't know.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it, Dan.
I think our pod. No. So there's the point. You know,
Yeah.
We know it's real because we're recording a podcast, a wonderful podcast.
Maybe I shouldn't have gone to class.
You should have or shouldn't
Should not have.
Oh yeah, that would have been fun. That would have
Nobody went to my one class, but there was only 3 people in there.
Yeah, that would have been a great April
One of them
Fool's
was me.
joke. Just not going to class.
Yeah. My news class apparently decided that was a great April Fool's joke. So.
Mom, if you're
Whatever.
listening, I did go to class.
I went to both of my classes
Every
too.
day this week we go to class.
I haven't missed a single class this semester.
Oh, I've definitely missed class this semester, but I went today.
Good.
So today we got a couple fun things to talk about, but most recently, we don't touch on it too much, and I think we will in the coming months, but the United States men's national soccer team qualified for the 2022 World Cup on not yesterday, the day before Wednesday. It was kind of a weird way they qualified. They lost 2-0 to Costa Rica, yet still qualified due to other results around the CONCACAF. As somebody who doesn't watch a lot of soccer, Andy, what's your opinion on that?
Well, honestly, it's cool, I guess. I just kind of don't really care. But I mean, I think it's neat to see America do something again on the world stage, but we kind of already do anyway.
Well, I mean, actually, we
all the
didn't.
time. Yeah, I know. For soccer is what I'm saying. But for like other stuff, like I don't really know. I don't care that much about soccer. I know this is super, super, super big. I understand the World Cup has like billions of viewers. I just personally don't really care. But congratulations to them. It's nice to see that America is finally back in there.
Yeah, we'll get Andy more into this over time, I promise.
Again, I have so many friends that have tried and it never works.
Well,
so
I'm the friend that's going to get you there.
Incorrect. Jacob Booth would be the guy, and he still failed.
Okay. Well,
actually, Jacob did get me to watch a Liverpool game, and now if I had to pick a team, it would be Liverpool. So if that's anything.
Well, thank you, Jacob.
Yeah.
But it's still a good win for the United States. It's a step forward in the bright future that the U.S. men's national team has after not qualifying for the World Cup in 2018, qualifying for the 2022 World Cup. There's a bright future in the U.S. men's national team. I want to try something real quick, Andy. I'm going to name off a few guys who play for the United States men's national team, and just pure instinct, have you heard their name or not?
Okay.
Matthew Turner.
No.
Walker Zimmerman. DeAndre
No.
Yedlin. Okay, you gotta let me.
The answer was going to be no for every single one of them.
Josh Sargent.
No.
Zach Steffen.
Nope.
Tyler Adams.
Nope.
Serginho Dest.
No.
Christian Pulisic.
No.
No, you've heard of him.
No.
We've talked about him.
No.
Giovanni Reina.
No.
Okay, well, I just listed off some wonderful world talent level players that are going to bring the United States to win the World Cup in 2026. And yes, I said that they will win the World Cup in 2026.
Not this year?
No, not this year.
Why? Are they not very good this year?
Still need to develop a little more.
Okay.
But they do have the star power. They do have the dedication. They are growing a fan base in the United States. They will win the World Cup in 2026. All of these players, though Andy did not know their names right now, he will know them when they win the 2026 World Cup.
Oh, my God. You know what I just found out? On our recording thing, I just found out how to keep the time. That's cool.
Oh, geez.
I don't know why I just said that.
Okay, it's not that. This is not that boring of a topic.
No, sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
I just really wasn't paying attention. If that tells you anything about soccer and my attention span for soccer. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I don't know how many seconds we are. Never mind. I accomplished nothing.
Okay, the call's going out again. We're accepting applications for a new podcast co-host.
I learned nothing in that 20 seconds there.
Oh, jeez. Well, let's move on to something Andy is going to pay a little more attention to.
But I will say congratulations to the men's soccer team. Great job. Soccer good. A lot of people like it. I don't. It's just what it is. But congratulations, and I probably actually will watch it. I'm not even kidding. I'll probably watch the World Cup.
It's actually in November and December this year because it got pushed back due to the COVID pandemic.
I thought it was normally during like the summer, right?
It is normally during the summer. It's between July and August, and there's the group stages games, and everyone plays it out. But this year they're doing it November, December because COVID kind of pushed back the whole world soccer schedule.
Interesting.
But over to the other type of football, the NFL approved on March 29th new playoff postseason playoff overtime rules.
So I found this out. This happened on Tuesday. So it approved the change that basically, I really don't understand how it's much different. Basically, both teams get a possession, and then after that, it's sudden death again.
Yeah.
So I don't understand really how that helps.
So basically, with the old postseason rule, or with the old postseason overtime rule, and we'll talk about it just being in the postseason in a minute here.
Yeah.
But with the old overtime rule, it was a flip a coin. Whoever wins the coin toss gets to get the ball.
If they won it.
If they win
generally you get the ball.
Yeah.
You want the ball.
Whichever team gets the ball, if they go down the field and score a touchdown, they win, game over.
Correct.
There's no chance for the other team. While the stipulation was, well, if they kick a field goal, then the other team has a chance to get the ball back as well. And then there's also other teams who are saying, well, defense is more important. A team should be able to make the stop in overtime. We talked about it in an earlier episode. My thing with that is, well, once you get past the fourth quarter, you got a really tired defense. No matter how good your defense is, the offense is always going to have a little bit more in the tank than the defense, which makes whichever team get the ball the ergo de facto winner of the game. I think it was 10-2. Were the teams who won the coin toss in overtime were 10-2 to go on to win the game. So it's
interesting.
Yeah.
That makes I remember that stat.
It's kind of a little bit not fair.
I know. Well, no, I understand that. And then obviously the counter to that argument is just defense is also important. So I mean. But again, with that stat, with the 10-2 thing, I think it's pretty obvious that it doesn't really matter how good your defense is.
Yeah, like I said,
at a certain point.
Yeah, the defense is going to be really tired.
Yeah, but I just don't understand really what gets changed here. I guess both teams do get a possession, cool, but then it just goes right back to sudden death.
Yeah, which is I mean,
but
at least each team has the opportunity to score.
Yeah, so.
Well, the first time, whichever team won the ball pretty much won the game.
Yeah, but let's just say. So let's just go back to the Bills and the Chiefs game, which is basically where this is all stemming from. I think I don't know, if you give Patrick Mahomes the ball, they get the ball like they did in the previous game. They go down the field, they score an extra point, and then Josh Allen gets the ball. They go down the field, they score an extra point. Then it's just the exact same scenario again.
Yes, but at least Josh Allen has the opportunity.
Has the opportunity to just match whatever the first team that gets the ball does.
Yes.
All you have to do is the opportunity to match.
Who cares? And I wrote this down, Tom Pelissero. I think I'm pronouncing that right?
No, that's right, yeah.
You said one coach said that most likely the team that scores first will go for two. And if they go for two, then the other team has to go for two. Or if they go for two and they don't make it, then there's a lot more pressure on the other team. So it adds a little bit more complexity to the overtime. What I don't like is Commissioner Roger Goodell. We all have our beef with with Mr. Roger Goodell,
Yeah.
said that most likely these overtime rules will not be adopted into the regular season. So the normal overtime rules that were in place last season will be for the regular season. So I think it makes it a little bit more fair for both teams in the postseason when there's so much on the line.
Yeah.
What I don't like is that
it's not during the regular season? Or
Yeah.
what? I don't have a problem with that.
well, I have a huge beef with regular season ties in the NFL.
I kind of like them.
I hate
I just
them.
think that they're fun.
I absolutely hate them.
I root for ties all the time in overtime because I just think it's so wacky. I like
It's
it.
the worst. I mean,
I think it's fun.
I like ties in soccer because you can get 3 points for a win and 1 point for a tie. There's still reason to go for a tie sometimes. In football, there's not really any reason to go for a tie. A tie basically counts against you as a loss.
Well, there was a reason to go for a tie in the Chargers and Raiders game at the end of the last regular season. They
That's
could have
fair.
both made the playoffs.
That's actually pretty fair.
That's like only one dream scenario, though. Otherwise, I would say, yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah,
count
right?
like
It's
a
kind of
loss.
pointless to watch a game to a tie. A game
Yeah.
like football where a team that's 11-5 versus a team that's 10-5-1, the 11-5 team is going to go through, so it's basically it counts against you as a loss.
Yeah.
I did love that potential for the Raiders-Chargers game to where if they both tied, then they both would have gotten in.
Yeah. It's very, I don't know. I don't dislike it not being in the regular season. I don't know. I don't have a problem really with it personally. So
Yeah. So what about alternate ideas? So what would you rather see than this postseason idea?
okay, I know my favorite one is this is again from Pat McAfee show is where you have a kicker kicking field goals. And then you start at like the 5-yard line, then you move back to the 10, move back to the 15, and then it goes and goes and goes until you don't make one. I like that one.
I like that one, but with a little bit of a twist.
Okay.
Each team has a designated non-kicker kicker.
Oh.
So you pick a player on your team that if in the event that the game goes to overtime, that player is the kicker. And these two non-kicker designated kickers will be the ones kicking the field goals.
Or you can get a bunch of linemen out there to try and catch like a punt or whatever, and if they drop it, then it's over or
Yeah,
whatever.
there's so much more fun you can add to it.
but it's also a professional game and like a series like that
professional.
would.
Yeah, I mean,
I think where we have it right now is probably the best scenario personally.
For
there's
the
other fun ideas
for the
there.
entertainment of the viewership, field goals would be cool.
Yeah, you
Another one that would also be cool is a 2-point conversion off.
I don't like that. I mean, I'm saying I don't like that. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Or, I mean, this is also pretty unprofessional in Andy's opinion, but we have the defense and the offense switch. And the defense plays offense, and the offense plays defense.
Again, USFL and XFL can do something like that, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know, yeah,
We'll see.
that's like something an experimental fun league could do in order to boost views. But like
Yeah.
the NFL is the NFL, and you can't be doing that.
In the voting, though, it was voted 29-3 in favor of the ruling. If you could guess which 3 teams were the teams that voted against it, what 3 teams would they be?
The Patriots, the Steelers, and the Buccaneers.
Really? I was going to say Chiefs, Colts, and...
The Colts are the ones who proposed it,
not Colts.
Yeah.
Chiefs, I was thinking of...
which is super weird. Why did the Colts propose this?
I don't know.
Yeah, isn't that odd?
The Colts just want unity.
I don't know.
But I was going to say the Chiefs.
Yay, us.
Yeah, the Chiefs, the Seahawks, because the Matt Hasselbeck overtime interception against the Packers, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then probably, yeah, like you said, maybe the Buccaneers or another NFC South team.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think I would go with 100% with the Patriots though. I wish they would I think it's Patriots and Steelers are locks personally.
Why the Steelers?
Because Mike Tomlin came out and said something about like I'm not scared of sudden death.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
He was. I think it was Mike Tomlin and another really defensive coach that was like, "Hey, you just got to play defense."
I think it. Again, I'm going to amend the Buccaneers. And I'm going to go with the Cowboys. They just seem like a staple. I don't know.
The Cowboys always seem like a team that whenever like there's a new, more fair, better rule for the NFL in place,
they would probably
Jerry
not.
Jones is like, we're not doing that.
Exactly. So that's why I think it's those 3. I like that.
Okay. Did you see the April Fool's thing with the Cowboys? It was Zeke and it was Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott, and they're getting interviewed post game, and they photoshopped a Super Bowl in.
Oh no, I did see that. Yeah.
So that Yeah.
Sorry, Cowboys fans.
Not sorry, Cowboys fans. I hate Cowboys
You know,
fans.
they're just, I have friends that are good Cowboys.
I've
Cowboys
never
fans,
met
yeah.
a good Cowboy fan in my life.
Preston Sawyer, good guy, big Cowboys fan.
Okay, Preston, we need to hang out
Yes,
sometime, I guess.
Preston's
Maybe
a cool dude.
you need to redeem the fan base.
If I remember that correctly. Yeah, he's a Cowboys fan. Preston's a Cowboys fan. Yeah. Yeah, down there in IU Bloomington. Randomly, you know what? Good for you, Preston.
Good for you for being a tolerable
Cowboys
Dallas
fan.
Cowboys fan.
Okay, other things that happened in the NFL this week. Bruce Arians, out of nowhere, stepping down from being the coach of the Buccaneers to be a front office guy. I don't really know what he's doing.
He's retiring as head coach and moving into an executive front office role, which I don't hate. I like that idea for Bruce Arians. He's had a very long coaching career.
He's very old.
He's pretty old. He gets red in the face a lot, you know.
Well, yeah, that's just who he is.
I don't know. One time, they panned over to him on a replay, and I was like, that guy's gonna have a heart attack.
Looked like a tomato. Yeah.
Looked bad. I mean, it was time. If it was time for him to retire. I like the fact that he's gonna stay around the Buccaneers. I think he would have retired earlier in the offseason if it wasn't for the Brady saga. I think he came out with a quote and he said something like, he said, I've seen those situations where a brand new head coach gets a team that's in shambles, and I didn't want that for. I think is it Brian Left? No, it's not.
No,
Brian
it's
I
don't necessarily know the name of the guy.
I remember it. I remember from Todd Bowles. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, cool.
Todd Bowles. I think he was defensive coordinator.
I'm just very surprised that Tom Brady came back, even though that he's gonna have another head coach again, like another new one. Isn't that odd? I don't know.
No,
It feels weird.
I think if it's a guy within the Buccaneers organization, he likes it. I mean, he must be okay with it. You know, Tom Brady knew about this before anyone else did.
Yeah.
They had to talk to Tommy Boy first. That was pretty big. Bobby Wagner signing with the Rams for, I think it was 5 years, $65 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
So here's my question: does that make the Rams better than they were last year?
Yes.
I think it does too.
On defense, yes. Von Miller, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. 6 years, a lot of money to the Bills.
He's already old.
He's already old. He wasn't bad last season, but he wasn't like an anomaly.
Anomaly.
He wasn't crazy. He didn't perform really well. He didn't make the Rams want to give him another large contract. He was just kind of meh. And they brought in Allen Robinson. They're going to let OBJ walk. Do you think the ACL tear has anything to do with that?
Maybe a little. I think a lot.
Maybe
actually.
a little bit.
I think
it's
a lot.
It's a
actually.
cold business in the
people,
NFL.
Yeah, people are very skittish of those things. Mm-hmm. So I think that definitely contributed to it a lot.
Yeah, but they picked up Allen Robinson, who we talked about.
Which is better than both of them, I think. I don't know, maybe not better than Odell. I don't know.
Oh yeah, they traded away Robert Woods. That's who the second guy was.
Yes.
We talked about it in our free agent segment a couple weeks ago. I mean, Allen Robinson, if he has somebody other than
Odell and Allen Robinson both tore their ACLs, didn't they?
Yeah, but Allen Robinson was earlier in the season. He's working out again.
He was like 5 weeks before playoffs, I think.
Yeah, so he was already better. I don't know. I think maybe the Rams.
He tore his ACL like the first day that Odell was there. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was in Chicago. You're talking Robert Woods tore his ACL.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I thought you were saying Allen Robinson tore his ACL. No,
Did Allen Robinson tear his ACL? No, I didn't think so. No, I was talking about Robert Woods. Yeah.
Yes, we're talking Robert Woods right now.
Yes.
I was super confused.
No.
Yeah, no. Robert Woods tore his ACL, but they sent him to. I think a lot of people were upset about Robert Woods getting traded because they were like, "Hey, he's an all-around wide receiver."
Yeah.
I don't really see that. I don't really worry about it too much. I like Allen Robinson. I think when Allen Robinson doesn't have a Chicago Bears quarterback throwing to him, he's going to be an ultimate player.
Yeah, I think so. I think that honestly, I legitimately think that Rams team will actually be better than they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anybody else but the Rams coming out of the NFC this year.
Especially now that
I really don't.
Especially now that Bruce Arians is out and he's retired and they've got a new head coach. I mean, I'm not saying Todd Bowles isn't qualified for the position he has, but they weren't lights out last year. I mean, the Bucs were good last year. They weren't great last year. Now you got a new head coach. You got some new kinks to work out. I don't see them. I mean, they're definitely a playoff team. I don't think they're challenging for the NFC. I think People are going to say Green Bay Packers just because the Green Bay Packers are always.
They don't have anyone.
But they don't have anybody. They have Aaron Rodgers. They gave all of their money to Aaron Rodgers, and now they have nobody. I think I heard that they might be looking at Odell Beckham Jr., but he's gonna command some money, and money they don't really have.
Okay, you want to do an impromptu this or that real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Impromptu. Okay. Aaron Rodgers, was he overpaid? Yes or no?
What was his contract again?
It's like 60. Like he at one point in time he gets like $60 million a year.
Aaron Rod. I'm gonna triple check before I answer.
I know what mine is, but I have a feeling I know what yours is as well. I'm interested. Do you think that they overpaid for Aaron Rodgers?
3-year, $150 million, including a
fourth and a fifth-year option.
Yeah, and a $40 million signing bonus.
Correct.
So it's 63 a year average. No, not 63 a year, but 63 over.
He gets 60 million in 1 year in year 2, which is nuts. And then 49 the first year, and then I think 47 or 48 the third.
Okay, I'm gonna mull it over because I don't want to sound dumb here. But 3-year, $150 million, 2 voidable years.
Yeah, I know what my answer is. Give it, go.
Especially with what happened with Davante Adams leaving because he couldn't get paid.
Yeah.
Yes.
You think that they did?
I think they did.
Okay.
I think, yes, he's the reigning MVP. Yes, he could still perform at a extremely high level.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have given him that much money, especially knowing that you're going to lose probably a just about as important piece to your offense in Davante Adams.
All right, here's my rebuttal to that. I think that they paid enough and what they had to. I think, obviously, as of right now, he's showing that he is the best quarterback in the NFL. I think maybe Patrick Mahomes might be a little bit better, but he just hasn't been playing up to that. So, obviously, he deserves the money that for top quarterback money, and he got it. And then I think your Davante Adams, God, Joey is in the. Our sports director, Joey Moore, is in the window and just staring at me like a scary dude. Happy April Fools, Joey. Gosh. Dude, that was like Jason or like some sort of like scary murder man from like any like horror movie.
That was our sports director.
Yes.
Oh, I really wish I saw that now.
If I was sitting alone in like my cabin in the woods at like 1:30 a.m. and I saw Joey's face, I would fear the fear of God would be distilled in my brain, okay?
Joey, if you're listening to this, you are a great sports director and we love you. Just
gotta love Joe, but that was
just don't peek in the window like that.
Jeez, I had a jump scare.
We're having some April Fool's episode-y.
I had to drop. I had to stop talking.
Episode-y.
I looked at him the first time, and then like tried to like play it off, but he kept keeping the same face. God. Okay, back to what I was saying. I think your opinion on Davante Adams being a little like the reason why he was overpaid because they couldn't pay Davante. I think they could pay Davante. He just wanted to leave.
Really?
Yeah, because
they franchise tagged him.
Well, yeah, that's one thing.
And that is a clear indication of most franchises.
Well, they were willing to offer him the same amount as the Raiders. Did you know that?
Yeah, but they came in late with it. They came in late, like he was already. He already was like, okay, guys, I'm pretty sure I'm going to go to the Raiders. And then they were like, well, we'll match you real quick. And then he was like, well, I don't think I want it now. I think part of it might have been in the way they handled it.
It's very interesting. Do you want to keep Aaron Rodgers? You want to keep a franchise quarterback who has only like maybe tops 5 years left, or do you want to keep a franchise wide receiver who has tops like 10 years left?
I want to keep
maybe
the band,
productive 5 years.
I want to keep the band together. After the Bucs won a Super Bowl, Tom Brady took a pay cut to keep his weapons around him.
Dude, Aaron Rodgers was not going to stay in Green Bay if he wasn't going to get that. I really don't think so.
I mean, I think he made a wrong choice staying in Green Bay then.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at this season is really going to prove how good he is right now.
He should not have gone to the Broncos now that I think about it. Like he has, if he can't win in the NFC, like there's no way.
No, the AFC would have been tough.
Yeah. So I think, honestly, probably a good call for him staying, personally.
It is sad, though, that he's probably never going to win another Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And
I don't really care.
No, I back
honestly.
that statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good for you, Aaron.
Cool.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't My dad has a problem with him. I don't have a big problem with Aaron Rodgers. So
one of the sports photographers in the Daily News, Amber, is a huge Green Bay Packers fan, and sorry, Amber, for slandering Aaron Rodgers, but I mean I'm right.
Yeah. Hey, well, sorry. I don't know. I just, I don't think that they overpaid for him. I just think that they were in a tough spot, and it's just kind of the decision that you had to make. I just still don't understand what they're going to do with Jordan Love and why they did that. I will never get it to this day.
I think about halfway through his first season in the NFL, the whole front office was like, "Oh yeah, we made a mistake."
Yeah, no, they made a massive mistake.
We made a mistake.
I just don't. I will never understand it.
That is bad.
Okay, moving over to this weekend's big events. Yeah.
Big events this weekend. We have the Final Four for the NCAA, both women's and men's.
Excited for both.
I'm very excited for both. Let's talk about the women's bracket first.
Yeah, we haven't really harped on these on this bracket really a lot.
No, but it's kind of played out like everyone expected it to.
Here's my only problem with the women's bracket. I feel as if it is almost kind of boring sometimes because the teams that are good win.
Yeah. So
it's not the level of play. It's nothing like that.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Because look at the final. The Final Four is Stanford, UConn, South Carolina, and Louisville. 3 of those are 1 seeds, and the 1-2 seed is UConn, who has made 13 straight Final Fours. So
UConn's a blue blood.
Straight up, no surprise.
Yeah. So I think I will back that statement when you watch the NCAA March Madness for the men's side of the ball. I mean, I think what we're saying here is men are less reliable at playing basketball.
Honestly, well, I think the level of competition is far more a team like St. Peter's can play as well as a team like Kentucky.
Yeah, then when you go over to the women's bracket,
yes, the
teams that are good are cutthroat good.
I feel as if there's a lot more competition and skill-wise throughout the men's.
I think it was South Carolina's first game in the tournament.
They blew out a 16 seed. The 16 seed had 4 points at halftime.
It was 4 points.
The skill level is insane. There's a huge drop-off between your top schools and your 16 seed schools. But again, a team like UMBC can beat a Virginia in the men's bracket.
So there's much more parity in the men's bracket than there's in the women's bracket.
I feel like we call the men's basketball tournament March Madness because there's actual madness, and I feel like there generally is just not a whole lot of madness in the women's side.
That's good for the women, dude.
You know, if you're good at basketball, you are actually showing you're good.
They prove it in and out.
Good for them.
We referenced that 16 seed Howard. It was 79-21 was the final score.
And it was a halftime score, though.
Howard had only scored 2 baskets.
Yeah.
In the first half, and then in the third quarter they only scored 2 more baskets, and then they got 13 points in the fourth quarter.
It's so bad,
boy.
And you know another thing that, since we're on the topic of men's versus women's basketball, why does men's basketball have 2 halves?
I hate that.
I don't understand. I
hate that so much.
Why does literally every other high school, middle school, NBA, women's, all the way through? Every single one of them, WNBA, all of them have quarters. But Division I men's basketball,
I don't get it.
Half.
It is dumb. It's like
I don't get it. Whose idea was that?
It's not fun.
I don't.
It looks like you're almost watching. I mean, it's more. It's definitely more fun than watching the NBA. I
don't think it has an effect on how fun it is.
Oh no, for me,
really.
I mean, it's definitely less fun than watching a game that has 4 quarters. Especially on the court, when you're playing a game of basketball, there's so much back and forth that at some points in the game, it's like there's 17 minutes left in the first half, and it's like they're already kind of slowing down. It looks like a pickup game. Looks like they're just messing around, trying to run the clock out almost.
I like it in a sense where it doesn't stop the flow.
Yeah, a little bit, but why would you not do that for other sports?
That's what I will never understand. So I don't know why they just wouldn't follow suit. Mm-hmm. I'd like to know the reasoning behind that, but. It's whatever, I guess. I mean, you got to be different, sure.
You got to be different.
I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely more entertaining than the NBA, but let's be honest, I would rather watch grass grow than watch the NBA.
Really?
I hate watching the NBA.
It didn't used to.
It didn't used to. Does now. Now it's
just not a fan anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I might need to get back into it a little bit, but
future this or that topic, we're going to talk about load management. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
we have some opinions about that. Sorry, that just popped into my head.
Going to women's.
Yeah, speaking of the Final Four, the women's, we have number 1 Louisville versus number 1 South Carolina tonight at 7 p.m. in the early game. Andy, who do you have and why?
Basically, from what I've been seeing, that Louisville is kind of overrated a little bit from what I've just been kind of hearing. I'm going to be really honest, I have really not been paying or watching any of the women's basketball games, but I am planning on watching these tonight. Because I think the Final Four is at least pretty interesting.
All Final Fours are interesting. Do you remember a couple years ago? I think it was UConn, the girl who hit the buzzer.
No, that was Notre Dame. That was Enrique and Gubawale.
There we go, our Notre Dame fan. Really?
I watched that.
I just remember the blue
live.
Jersey.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it live. I remember seeing the highlights.
I think it was against UConn. Maybe
it
might have been. That was back when Notre Dame women's basketball was like insane. Mm-hmm. Like they were really good.
But yeah, that was a good buzzer beater. But
I watched that live.
You have South Carolina.
Yeah, so I have South Carolina. Supposedly South Carolina's very, very good, and Louisville's kind of an overrated 1 seed. Obviously not overrated.
I mean, they're in the Final Four, but I know what you mean. Like, compared to the other number 1 seeds.
Correct.
I also have South Carolina. I've been tracking it a little bit, and I think South Carolina's play has just been cleaner, a lot more dominant, a lot more. They slow the game down, they switch up pace, they run some different things. They give a lot of different looks to the defenses they're playing.
Did you say that you've been watching games for women's or no?
I've been keeping tabs.
I've been keeping tabs as well.
Yeah, I haven't been watching all the games, but I did in preparation for the episode. I watched a couple of the South Carolina games, a couple of Louisville games.
Yeah, because Notre Dame and IU are actually pretty deep in it. I think they were in the Elite Eight and lost to, if I remember, I think it was Stanford and UConn. So it could have been a Final Four with Notre Dame and IU, which would have been kind of neat. So but obviously didn't get that, but hey. So I think that would have been much more intriguing than the game we have now. But the second game, Stanford versus UConn, I have UConn winning this one. Purely, I know that Stanford is supposedly very, very good as well. But I think UConn just has so much experience, and I like Paige Buckets, or Paige Beckers, is that her name? But people call her Paige Buckets. Mm-hmm. She is actually a straight bucket, though. She's really good.
I don't know. I really... You never want to bet against UConn, especially in this in tournament season. But I really think that this game will be closer than Louisville, South Carolina. I think Stanford has the possibility to pull off the upset. They've been pretty good this season.
I don't even know if it'd be an upset. Like
not
really,
even. Yeah, well, they're both number
pull
ones.
Off the win. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Stanford could get the win, but it's just so hard to bet against UConn with their history. I hate to interrupt, but a little bit of breaking news. Ball State's Peyton Sparks, who had previously entered the transfer portal, just announced that he is staying at Ball State.
Woo, that's cool.
I think that's a big thing thanks to the new coaching hire, Michael Lewis.
By the way, this actually goes into college basketball here pretty good. Well, okay, we'll go on and talk about that here in like a second after we get done with the women's. Then we'll go over to men's. Then we'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about that. I want to throw it out there real quick. Yeah, we'll get over to it. But anyway, so okay, I have UConn winning this game, and then I have UConn winning it all. I think. It's been a while since they've been able to do this.
I could see South Carolina winning it all. Honestly.
So can I. I could see pretty much anybody but Louisville. I think.
Yeah, anybody at Louisville could take down.
That's what I've been seeing.
Yeah. Whenever I make sport picks, I always feel like a little disrespectful to the teams that I say like no, they're not winning it, but. No.
Watch Louisville win it all. I'm sure they will.
Yeah, knowing our luck,
I'm sure they will.
Mm-hmm.
So, congratulations to Louisville on winning the
NCAA national tournament.
Yeah.
Moving over to the men's bracket.
Excited for those games, though. Can't wait for tonight. Yeah.
I am excited. Yeah. Men's bracket is tomorrow. They actually didn't release the times until I don't think they've released the times yet. But
yeah, they have.
They have
6. I think 6 o'clock is the first game, and that's Kansas and Villanova.
Yeah, I like that. Duke, North Carolina for the evening.
Oh
game.
Yeah, I think it's like 9:30 or so.
Can't go against that. Speaking of Duke, North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
For the first time in NCAA tournament history.
Crazy.
In Coach K's final year. You gotta love the story.
No, that's definitely
You've got to love the story.
It's crazy. Like, okay, and another thing, this is our guy again. We keep talking about Zuver on this podcast.
Huge
a lot.
Duke fan.
Yes. So Zuver saw a stat that basically said in Coach K's first year or first final appearance or whatever, Final Four, he made it to the Final Four. He beat, I think it was Kansas or Kentucky or something like that, and then played Kansas in the Final Four. And they were coached by Roy Williams, the previous coach of North Carolina. Yeah, it was Kansas in the championship. So now he has a shot to beat North Carolina, Roy Williams' previous school, and then beat the team that he beat in the finals again.
You couldn't write a better
Isn't that
script.
weird?
You couldn't write a better script for a guy who's in his final year with a team.
And I'm sure they'll lose by 20 tonight or tomorrow night. Yeah, I'm sure. It'll be over.
North Carolina's good, not that good. I still think it's pretty. I think North Carolina is overachieving while Duke is getting finally making statements as to what they had expectations for at the beginning of the year. I have Duke. Not only do I think Duke is going to win, I want Duke to win. Coach K in his final year. I love like storylines like this. I have a friend who firmly believes that the NCAA has rigged this year's tournament to let Coach K go out on top with a championship in hand.
That's funny.
I don't think it. No, I don't.
They don't. We sports aren't rigged. I'm sorry.
Some, but not this one. Maybe Pete Rose's sports were low rigged.
Oh, come on. Okay, I think boxing and WWE might. I don't know about boxing. WWE is obviously rigged. I mean, well, no, that's the whole point of the sport. But no, I don't think I don't like when people talk about like, the script writers for the NFL are having a great time with this one. It's just
I think it's mainly a joke.
Yeah, I hope so.
Mainly a joke, and then you got a few like ultra conspiracy theorists that you're like
that are crazy.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Other Final Four game: Villanova, Kansas.
I have Kansas winning this one pretty handedly. Actually, I think one of their better guys, one of the better guys on Villanova, like towards ACL. I don't know. I don't remember his name off my top of my head. But he tore his ACL, and he's like a pretty big piece for Villanova. So I think Kansas is just playing how they should be playing, and I think that they easily get to the finals.
Yeah, the guard, his name is Justin Moore. He's a junior.
Yes.
Tore his right Achilles tendon.
Yes.
In the final minutes of their win over Houston.
So I think that'll hurt him bad.
Yeah,
personally.
I think you'll get him out of system. They'll have a new guy coming in. They'll have jumping and changing, but it is number one Villanova, and it's Villanova for a reason. But I think I could see either team winning this game. I'd probably want Kansas to win for the storyline, and I probably, especially with a big player on your team going down with injury, I have Kansas winning.
So we didn't talk about Duke versus North Carolina. Do you have Duke or North Carolina coming out of that?
Oh, I said Duke.
I'm gonna probably go with Duke as well. So I think I have Duke winning it all against Kansas.
I also have Duke winning it all.
But you have it against Villanova?
No, I have. Well, in my bracket, I have them against Villanova.
Oh.
But,
in one of your brackets.
Yeah, bracket, not the one that counted, though.
Correct.
But at this point, with what we know now, probably Kansas.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'd say that as well. So that sounds like a really, really, really good matchup.
Really, something you really want to watch.
And I've never been a huge fan of Duke, but it's just I feel
final year, in front of the home fans, do it for Coach K.
It'd be pretty awesome.
And with that being said, it will be North Carolina versus Villanova in the national championship.
Oh yeah, no, easily North Carolina will win it all, which again, totally fine with.
We have great picks on this show.
Yeah.
What I did mention and staying on NCAA men's basketball. For those of you who don't go to Ball State, which is pretty obvious.
Most people.
Yeah, Peyton. Yeah. So the former head coach James Whitford left the program at the end of the season.
Yeah, left the program not under his own regard.
It was a little bit of both. The press release says part ways. And
by part ways,
fired.
Yes,
it's not bad. He was a good coach. Just not a lot of success.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what a good coach means.
He was a nice guy. I interviewed him on a couple occasions. He's a nice guy.
He seemed nice.
Also, he's probably sitting pretty.
Yeah, who else was nice? Chuck Pagano. I just wanted to throw that out there. Or I'm sure Ben McAdoo was nice. Actually, no, he probably was.
No, Ben McAdoo was not nice.
Yeah.
But Whitford was pretty nice. He's a good guy. Sometimes you just get tough luck. He did sign a contract extension at the end of last season.
Rip.
So
That
in terms
sucks.
of financially, he's doing just fine. He's gonna be okay. But the new coach they brought, after Whitford left, got an exodus of players entering the transfer portal, mainly to big freshman Jalen Sellers and Peyton Sparks. Peyton Sparks was MAC Freshman of the Year, lit it up on the court.
Yeah, he was very good.
He is very good. Seen as kind of the metaphorical savior or future of Ball State men's basketball.
I know what you mean.
He had entered the transfer portal, and I write for the Daily News. We wrote a breaking news piece on it. When he announced it, he emphasized that he wasn't closing the door on Ball State. He was he just wanted to test the waters and see what could be done.
Yeah. And he's coming back because we got our new coach.
Yes, he's coming back. So basically, what I've learned very quickly is when a player enters the transfer portal and they say, I might come back, like, I'm not closing the door, they're basically laying down we'll see who the new coach is. I'll have a meeting with the coach, and then I'll decide if I want to leave. And he wants to see who's interested in him.
And our new coach is from UCLA.
New coach,
which is an insane hire, honestly.
Is a familiar face. This is the second or third hire now of the Ball State athletic director Beth Getz's career. I believe, third, because
I have no idea.
Donan Cruz, Caitlin Walsh, the new Walsh.
Oh, you're talking about just coaches in general.
Yeah, the athletic director of Ball State.
Got you.
I believe it's the third hire, but
but the guy from UCLA, that's a legit hire, though.
Yes,
imagine coming from UCLA and LA
to Muncie. We talked about this last week. He is a good coach. He has a pretty long career. He actually crossed paths with Beth Getz when he was an assistant coach at Butler, I believe.
Interesting.
So there is a little bit of familiarity with him. He's from Jasper, Indiana, down south. My friend Claire grew up in Jasper. He played at IU. He's a name at IU. So this is a more notable hire for Ball State,
which is cool. Hopefully we actually do something good.
Yeah, I was covering the men's volleyball game last night, and he was there.
He was indeed. I was there as well.
He had a little bit of an ovation. It was pretty cool.
Yes, with the 45 people that were in the stands.
Yes, but Peyton Sparks will be coming back. Definitely no doubt, due to partly in bringing in a pretty notable, solid, legit head coach in Michael Lewis. And I'm not to say that any other coach at Ball State's a bad coach. I feel every coach at Ball State is doing a great job. A good job. I'll tell you, Ball State volleyball coaches, very good. We are low key not even low key. We are a volleyball school.
Oh yeah. Ball State trending up.
Ball State trending up.
And with that
is where we'll leave it for today. Thank you again for joining us. Make sure you follow us on our socials. On Instagram, I think it's Knuckleheads Sports Pod.
I do believe so, yeah.
And on YouTube, it's Underqualified Knuckleheads.
Correct.
Someone mentioned to me the other week, and they were like, "Hey, you never tell us where we can follow you on your podcast." And I was like,
"Oh, that makes sense."
Well, we're learning along the way.
Yeah.
That's our Instagram and our YouTube channel. You can find old episodes on there, and you can also find them on Spotify and Apple Pods. Yeah, that's it for this week. You guys have a wonderful week, and we'll catch you on the next one.
And see you next week.